So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Carmen and I'm a Customer Success Manager at StoryShift. I think most of you already know me, but I also see some new names, so that's always good to meet new users. And today we will be going through our ambassador feature and press feature as well to make sure how you can use it to increase the employee advocacy for your company and to increase brand awareness and see all the benefits of using this channel as a combination with all the other channels that you are already using to publish your content. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Like this, okay. So I created a really short presentation. If there are any questions now or later during the webinar, don't hesitate to use the Q&A section. You can ask everything in there. I'll make some stops from time to time to have a look at them. And if we don't have time to cover them all, I will contact you afterwards or tomorrow. So no worries, don't be shy, and just send everything that you want to know from this webinar. So as I was saying today, we are going to talk about how you can increase your brand awareness and also how to use StoryShift to send press releases. And first of all, it's important to know what employee advocacy is. I think most of you have already heard of it, but it entitles a lot of good opportunity for the company, but also for the colleagues, for the employees. So for the company, for example, it increases the brand awareness and recognition among your employees, but also outside. It also increases employee engagement, so employees and colleagues are more engaged, more motivated, and more committed. You can also use it to generate new leads. So you can really create new leads and push more traffic to the website because you are attracting an audience that goes beyond your own company's audience. And then you can also use it for potential hires, new candidates or new colleagues that may be interested to work for you. So it has multiple benefits. But also for the colleagues, for the employees, it also has a lot of good things. For example, they can increase their professional online presence because they will be more in touch with others that like the content and that they want to engage with it. They can also increase their own networks because they will be engaging with other people out there, specifically on LinkedIn, for example, but that's not the only social media network. They can also grow internally. They show commitment, they show that they become ambassadors of the brand. So you may see that as an opportunity to let these people grow on your company. And they can also use it to get more prospects, more leads out of it, especially for the sales team. They can really use it to send specific content to a lead or to a prospect that they are trying to hunt. So yeah, they can always use the content to really show their potential customers what the company is offering. So it has a lot of benefits, and the best advantage of all of this is that you can do this with StoryShift as well. So I'm going to show you today how to do this. We have two features. One is the ambassador channel. So what you do is you create a number of lists per group of people, and then you can send your content via email to them, so they can be aware of the content that you are publishing, but they can also share it on their own network. So they can click on Facebook or LinkedIn and then really create a post out of it for their own network. So that's why you get a lot of extra audience and traffic that you wouldn't be able to reach if it wasn't for them. We also have another different feature, which is a press channel. And it works in a similar way, so you can also create a number of lists with your PR agency or the journalists that you are working for, and then you can send them the content. And in this case, they can download the content or export the content to PDF or to Word, so they can actually put it on their own medium, their own media channels, and launch a press release with your content. So this is what we are going to see today. I see some new people. As I said in the beginning, please don't hesitate to send your questions to the Q&A section. It's at the bottom. I'm also recording the session, so I'll send it afterwards, probably this week, to all of you. So no worries, you will be able to rewatch it if you want. But now let's dive in already. Let's go back to my workspace that I have used already in the past for some other webinars. And the first step is set up the ambassador and the press channels. First of all, I want to show you that you can also see how many contacts you already have here. Not all the plans that we offer include this option. So this is only included in some old legacy plans if you still have them, but also on our Team Plus, Custom Plan and Agency Plan. So you can check out how many contacts you have by going to your billing page, and here you will be able to see how many referral contacts that you have, and then how many you have left. So how many contacts you can still add to the tool. And as I said, let's go back to the channels page and create those channels. So I go to this channels page. I jump to the referral marketing. And here I find the two channels, ambassadors and press. If I go to ambassadors, I can already find 4 different lists. One is with my marketing team, the sales team, family and friends, you never know, and also influencers. So it can be anyone. It can be partners, it can be other organizations that you work with, that you collaborate with. It can be your own friends or family if they are motivated and enthusiastic about your brand. And you create them in different groups so that you can decide where to send the content to. So you can send the content to all of them or only to 1 or 2 lists. You choose that. If I go to the marketing team, for example, you can see that there are some contacts in here, but only 5 of them are active. So most of them are subscribed, but some of them are cleaned. That means that the email address doesn't exist or is not available or is not, it cannot be reached. So these people won't be receiving any email, only the others one will. So let's create the next channel. So I will go back to the list of channels here, and then I will add a new one. I just need to click on Add New Destination. Okay. So as you can see, I've created a new list, but it's empty. So I need to add some contacts to it. So I can create one. I can create them one by one. So I can click on New Contact and say, for example, the email address is to receive at gmail.com, and then, for example, Penelope, and then the last name is Collins. I also have this option here. If they have given me permission to email them, then I can check it. If not, an email will be sent first to ask them if they want to participate in this list and they want to be subscribed to it. This is only needed for clients because it follows the GDPR. However, for colleagues, for example, it's not really required, so you can already check it if it's a colleague that you want to add. I want to show you what it looks like if you don't mark this option and they first receive an email. It will look like this. So if you see now my other screen, this is one email that they have received. So it shows the name of the company and then join our ambassador program. So I can click there and then we just explain why are we needing their confirmation. So if they want to become an ambassador and be added to the list, they can click on confirm, and then it's already old, but they will find the welcome page just to say that they have been added to the list. So if you are not sure if the specific colleague or person wants to receive your emails, you can really send them first an email to make sure. If they don't accept it, then they won't be added to the list and they won't receive any email. However, if they confirm it, then they will be added to the list and then you will be able to send them those emails. So I'll select this, I will click on save, and now you can see that the person has been added and the status is subscribed. I can keep adding people one by one, but I can also do this from an import. So I can import a CSV file from my computer, which only needs to have 3 columns: the email address, the name, and the last name. The order is not important. So I'll show you how it works. I just need to choose the file from my computer, which I have it in here. And now I just need to map the columns that I have on my Excel with the columns or the fields that I have in StoryShift, which are only 3. So for example, the email address, I can map it with the email address from StoryShift. I also see an example. The first name from my Excel, I can map it with the first name here. And then the last name, I can map it with the last name. Here again, I have the possibility to send them an email first to all of them to ask for permission. If I already know that it's okay, then I can just check this option, click on confirm. I see that I'm going to import 8 contacts. So that's it. I can wait here, but I don't have to. I mean, I can close this. I will receive an email when this is done. But since it's only 8 of them, I think if I refresh, I will be already able to see them. It doesn't really take long. So I can see them already here. So I see all of them, they are subscribed. I can also edit all the details from them. I can also unsubscribe them myself or even remove them. They can also unsubscribe themselves. So in every email that they receive, at the bottom, they will have the possibility to unsubscribe. So maybe they allowed it to receive emails the first time, but then the second time they don't want to anymore, so they can still unsubscribe. Okay, so my list has been created with 8 people, but I can still set it up. So I have some settings in here. I can see a question already. Can you personalize the confirmation email for ambassadors? Is it always in English? Yeah, for now, is it only in English? It cannot be personalized. It's just a standard message. It's the message that you saw. It would be a good idea in the future to be able to personalize it, but for now, there are some things that are just standard to make it easy, to make it really, almost ready to go for everyone. But I think it's a really great idea that you are able to personalize it, especially change it to other languages, for example. I can totally see that working. So I'll give the feedback to my colleagues and they will check if they can add this functionality in the future. But I think it's a good idea, but it's not possible right now. Okay. If there are any other questions, please keep sending them over. But yeah, so now I have created my list with 8 people, but I can set it up. I can personalize it a bit. For example, I can give it a name to really make sure that I know who these people are. For example, the management team. I can also decide the from name. It can be the company's name, but it can also be the name of a person. So this is the name that they will receive or that they will see when they receive the email. So you need to put something that they can easily recognize. The email address can also be changed. If you have an agency plan or a custom plan, you can also change the domain. So you can actually use your own domain to send them emails. Otherwise, it will be the standard StoryShift Ambassador domain. But you can change the first part. So you can say, for example, this is coming from Marketing & Co. If they reply to the email, who is going to receive the answer? So you can also put anyone's email address or just an info email address you can choose. And then when sharing the stories, the blog articles with them, you can also personalize the subject and the intro text. We recommend that you give some context about why they are receiving that email and what is expected from them to do. So this is our template, but you can personalize it. You can, for example, change this to another language so that it's a bit more similar to the way you communicate usually. You can use this variable. This is the only variable that we have for now, but you can use it, just keep it the way it is, because it will be replaced by the name of the contact. So it will it will make the email look a bit more personalized as well. You can use emojis, anything you want. You can also give some instructions. Please click on the buttons to share it or choose the channel that you want. You can really write what you want. You can also choose if you want to show only the summary, the small preview in the email, or if you want to show the full story. But if it's too long, then it may look like a lot of content. So I always recommend using the summary. You can also select if you want to include the share buttons, but that's exactly what you want. You want to let them share the content. So then I recommend that you always say yes in this case. But for example, the export buttons, I don't think that's necessary. This is to be able to download the content to PDF or to Word. For colleagues or for employees, that shouldn't be a need. So you can set it as no, but this is up to you. And then for the social post, we also have a couple of settings, which is the subject of the email and also the intro text. So you can set it up the way you want. Once done, we can click on Save Settings, and then our channel management team will be already ready to go. But we also have the Signup Form here. This is basically, if you want people automatically added to this list, you can then create a contact form from StoryShift that you can use you can embed the contact form in your blog articles. So whenever someone is interested to know more about you or about the company, you can let them subscribe to the list, and then they will be automatically added as an ambassador to this list. So you don't have to do that manually. Of course, they can also email you and say, hey, I want to be part of this, please subscribe me. But it's way easier if they can do that themselves. So you can just create a form for this specific list management team. Every list has its own contact form. And now the contact form has been created. It has the name management team. So I can use it to embed this form in my stories if I want to. If I go back to the list of channels, I see that my management team list is already here and it has 8 active contacts. So I'm ready to go. I see another question. Will the export button offer image and text separately for them to post, or just a PDF? Yeah, so I'll show you later. So you will see the text, and then at the bottom you will also see the images that you have used, the cover image and all the images that you have used in the story, and also additional information, for example, custom fields, which are just extra fields that you can use to add any other kind of information. So yeah, you can. It's all in the same document, but you can get them apart. You can also only export the assets, for example, so only the media. But you will see this when I give an example. So I think it will become more clear. Okay. So now that we have set up the ambassador channel, let's have a look at the press channel. So we go back to our list of channels, referral marketing, and now we see here the press. So I'm not going to create a press channel because it's exactly the same, but you see it here, it's the same. If you want to create several, you can just click on Add New Destinations and then create a list as I did with the ambassadors. It works in the same way. The only difference, if I click on Edit, you can see that there are 3 active contacts in here. Some of them unsubscribed, some others are cleaned. So, you know, there are different situations. But here in the settings, the difference is that you also have here the possibility like to export, to include the export button. So here, for example, I chose not to include the share buttons. I mean, that's always good. They can always share it if they want to. But what I really want from the press is that they have the option to download the media. So that's why I said yes. So that's the only difference. For the rest, it all works in the same kind of way. So that's perfect. So I'm just gonna add a new one from scratch so that I make sure I can show you what it looks like when we do an example. So this is also Penelope. I give permission. Perfect. Okay. So now we can start working. We can have a look and see how it works in real life. So to do that, I'm just gonna go to the calendar. It doesn't matter how you get to your content, but I'm choosing to go to the calendar. So here I have some stories that I want to work on. So I see, for example, one that is ready for 4:30. So I'm just gonna click on this one, and then I'll edit the story. I also see that it's pending approval and is ready for publication right now. So it's perfect timing. So I'm just gonna click on edit story, and then we will get to the editor. So this is a story that my writer Penelope has written and sent over to me for approval. So I see the approval modal in here, which I can close for now because I just want to take a minute to go through it. So I would, review the text. I see the table of contents. I see, for example, here there is an Insta post. I see some bullet points, an image, a video as well. So I think it's looking good. I can also see the SEO is really optimized. So I'm happy to go. So I'm just gonna approve it. And I'm gonna publish it already now, and I'm gonna send it to my ambassadors and to my press channels as well. So if I go to the summary, I can see all the technical elements, so the cover image, everything that we have seen in previous webinars as well. I see also some extra custom fields. For example, I want to add a second author. These are all fields that you can connect with your website if you want to, or use internally. I can also say, for example, that the stage is ready for publication, but these are all extra fields that you can add to your account if you want to use them to track any internal information or to send extra information over to your website. So this will look different on your workspaces. If I go now to the audience, this is a really important step because here is where I can actually say or select the channels where I want to publish the story. So my William blog, that's the primary channel, so I will keep it as published now because I want to publish it just now. I also want to publish this to Medium and to my HubSpot newsletter. And here I have all my referral marketing. So all the list, all the channels that I have created are in here. So I can activate them all at once, or I can go one by one if I prefer. So I want to share this with my marketing team. So I'm going to enable this channel. I also see the subjects as I had in my previous template, but I can also change it on the spot. I can just write something different to give some extra instructions or something that I need. I can also add UTM parameters. I can just paste the ones that I have already or use a builder to create UTM parameters so that you can check all this traffic as well on Google Analytics. That's optional. I can also select if I want to publish it now or later, but I'm choosing to publish it now. And on the right hand side, you see a preview of it. So the from, to, and the subject, the logo of the company, my intro text, all the buttons to share, and then the summary, the preview of the story. Perfect. I also want to share this with the sales team, but I don't think now is a good moment, so I'm gonna just publish it later. For example, tomorrow or on Thursday at 9:15. So I think they will be fresh as they are starting the day. Family and friends, yeah, I don't need to share this with them today, but the PR agency, I do want to for the press release. So I will enable this channel as well. Here I also have the subject, the email, the intro text, also the preview. In this case, as you can see, I don't have the buttons to share because I didn't want to include them, but instead I have the download buttons. So they can download the PDF to Words or the assets, only the media, the images. And I'm also choosing to publish this today. No influencers, no management team, but I want to share this also. I want to send this to the MailChimp newsletter, and that's it. So these are all the channels that I want to use to publish my story, my blog article too. So now I'm just gonna go and click on publish. So I see that it's going to be published to 7 destinations. So publish now for all of them. But for the sales team, it will be only sent in 2 days. So I can see perfectly who I am sending this to and when. Now I can click on confirm, and now I see that everything is processing, that all the channels are being reached out. I also see, for example, that the sales team is scheduled to go out on the 9th of June, so not today, not now. But for example, the marketing team and the PR agency, the message is in the queue and it will be sent out shortly. It only takes a couple of minutes usually. So yeah, I have here an overview with all my channels. If I want to see what the story looks like, I can also click on view story, for example. It's not related to the webinar, but just to show it to you. So this is what my article looks like on my William blog. It will look different depending on the blog CMS that you are using or the layout or everything, but that's what it looks like in my case, very simple. So let's have a look at the emails that these ambassadors have received. So I'm going to go back to the overview, and I'm going to switch to my other email address, to my other screen, to see the email that I have received. So I have first received a notification because I accepted Penelope's, I approved Penelope's story. So that's only about that. But then I also received 2 emails. One about the story that has been published, and then one about the new blog article for press release. In this case, I did it on purpose. So I put the same email address in both lists, in my marketing team list and also in my PR agency press list on purpose, just to show you. If I check out the notification about the new story being published, as you could already see on the preview, I can see the logo, I can see the intro text, all the buttons to share, and then I also see the preview of the story. So I can click on it and I will be redirected to the William blog, to my blog. If I click on Facebook, for example, then I will be redirected to Facebook to post it there. The same with LinkedIn, with Twitter. So you can choose, or you can, the ambassadors will choose the best channel to use to share and to spread the content away. As I told you in the beginning, you can also click on unsubscribe, so the ambassadors can always unsubscribe if they prefer. So this is the first email about the story being published, and now we can also have a look at the notification about the press release. So this is the email that a journalist would receive for a press release. So the preview, the layout is quite similar, so the logo, also the intro text. But here, instead of getting the share buttons, I decided to put the export buttons. So if I click on PDF, for example, then a PDF is downloaded, where I can see the content. And then at the bottom, I can also see the media, the images, and the extra custom fields. So you can send this already directly to them, so they can export it. If they prefer having the media in high quality, just apart individually, they can also click on assets, and then they will receive a zip file where they can just open and see the images. They are in high quality, so they don't lose anything by sending them through email. Or they can just download it to doc Word and then work with it. But they can also read the full story and go to the William blog if they want to, so that they know exactly what type of press release they have to launch and things like that. So it's a great way to communicate with them instead of doing that externally through a different email or a different channel. You can just do that all at once from StoryShift. So that's a really good thing about it. Okay, so let's go back to our main workspace. Are there any other questions for now? Don't hesitate to send them over. So now we are back here, and we have shared a story with ambassadors and also with our press channel, but we can also get a report out of this. So every time that a story is published. We show a report with some numbers, views, reads, and everything that has happened with the story. Of course, we have just published the story, so there won't be a lot of data in there, but we'll probably already see some data about the ambassadors. So if I click on report here, I find this report with all these reads and the views that the blog article has received for now per channel. So yeah, still no one. That makes sense. I also see all the channels in here that I have used, but then I also see the referral channels. So every channel that I've used is shown in here. For the sales team, it's still scheduled because it won't be sent until Thursday. So there is nothing to show there yet. But for the marketing team, for example, I can see that it was sent to 5 contacts. 4 of them, it was delivered. So it means that one email address was probably wrong or it didn't work. And only 1 person out of those 4 have opened the email and clicked on it. So yeah, that will be us. I can also show the details. So I can actually see who these people are. So I can see, for example, that Penelope here is the one who received the email 6 minutes ago. It was delivered also 6 minutes ago. She opened the email 4 minutes ago, and then she also clicked on the content 4 minutes ago. However, the others, for example, haven't opened it yet. So it's a great way to track who is actually opening the emails, who is sharing the emails and the content. And you could even create a list with the most committed ones. So because you see that they are really committed and that they really want to help, you can even create a specific channel for them to push even more content, or you can also work with a reward system where you give them some benefits because they are in the top 5 of ambassadors, for example. But this is up to you. For the PR agency, we also have some metrics. So again, we see that it was sent to 4 people, it was only delivered to 3, so the 75%, but only 50% of them viewed it, and only 1 of them clicked on it. So you can also see it in here. So yeah, these are the metrics that we offer. In the future, we will be working on increasing the metrics here, so you can also see the top ranking or a top 10 or I don't know, a top 5 of the best ambassadors, so that you can already see who is more committed. For now, this is not something that we can provide, but this is in our roadmap. And we will include a few more details as well, because we know it's working really well, so we want to make sure that you get all the functionality out of it. But now, I also want to show you how to share your social post with your ambassadors, because that's also a possibility. So now what I've done is I've shared a blog article with my ambassadors and with my journalists. But I can also just share a social post, a post that has already been online on social media. So I don't share the story, but I share the social post to the different channels that I've chosen. So I want to show you how to do this. So let's create a social post. I will create a social post out of this story. So I click on social post, and then I click here on create social post. So now we go directly to the social post editor, where I see all my channels, and then I also see the story, the media that I want to use for my social post. So let's see, I'm gonna just use a couple of channels, not that much, for example this one, Instagram as well. And if I scroll down, I see the ambassadors channel. So all the channels that I have created are in here. So I can choose again who I want to send the email to. In this case, I'll choose the management team, for example, like this. But I can choose also more or none, so it's exactly as with the stories. On the right-hand side, I can create my social post. I will go a bit fast in here because you already know these parts, as we have already seen it on previous webinars. So something like this, really short. A caption, I can also select the date, but I will publish it now. I see my media. I also see the tailor by channel option, where I can actually change or tailor anything that I want. It can be the image, it can be the caption, I can tag people or accounts. I also see the UTM parameters in here. so you can tailor everything. But then if you scroll down, you also see the possibility to tailor the ambassador channel. So here I can also choose when I want to send the email, because maybe I want to wait until tomorrow morning or until later today. I can also change the subjects and the intro text or the body text. Otherwise, it will take the one that I have in my template. So now that I'm ready, I'm just going to publish it. So I see a list with all the channels that I have enabled, including the ambassador list. I click on confirm, and then everything will be published right now on the spot. In case of the management team ambassador channel, the message will go out shortly, as with the stories. So I just need to wait probably a couple of minutes, and then it will be sent. If I want to have a look at what the social post look like, I can also click here in the meanwhile, but I won't do that. So I close, and let's see if my ambassador has already received the email, which is the case. So in this case, the subject is a bit different than for a story. It says, show your support on our latest post. If I click here, in this case, there is no preview. This is something that we also want to improve to make the email look a bit more inspirational, I would say, or a bit more attractive. But you see the logo and then the intro text. Again, the unsubscribe button is in here. And if they click on like, share, they will be redirected to a page where they can actually see the post, and then they can like it or comment on it or share it or do what they want to do with it. So in this case, I see the post in all the 4 channels that I have posted to, so I can click on like, or I can click on comment, or for example, imagine that I want to publish this on Twitter, but Twitter is not available here. I can also click on create your own and choose Twitter, for example. So then I'm able to create a Twitter post out of this media. If I want to give it a like on LinkedIn, for example, I just need to click on like, and then I will be redirected to the post where I can actually give a like or comment or share it. So it's just a really easy way for the ambassadors to be reminded that they have to, or that they can share content, that they can, contribute and engage a bit with it, because it makes a difference. Because each employee has a different network, which is different than your company's network. So you may want to include them in your engagement as well. Okay. So this is what the ambassador would receive for the social post. Let's go back to our main workspace. In this case, we don't have metrics yet for a social post. So when we share a social post with ambassadors, we don't share any metrics about how they are doing and who is contributing more to it. But that will be also included in the list of improvements that we are going to give in the hopefully medium future. But this is something that we have planned, and it's on our roadmap already, so you can expect it. And then the last thing that I wanted to show, and then very quickly, I see a few questions. A question from Finn, but I think it's been solved. Can you send social posts to ambassadors? Yeah, exactly. That's what I've just shown now. That next to sharing stories with ambassadors, you can also share social posts with ambassadors. So now I've done it already. If I go to the social post overview, just to show you something else, if you hover with your mouse over the status, you can also see to what channels it has been shared or published to. So you can see it has been published to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and then also the management team 3 minutes ago. So just to give you some more extra information, but as I explained, you can also do this. And then maybe I missed it. Can assets be shared for social posts too? No, exactly. So press releases can only be enabled for stories, because a press release, the way we see it, is mainly only useful for stories, for content on the blog, on the website. For a social post, you wouldn't really send this to a press agency or to a journalist to create a press release out of it, because you usually always need to have the content, the blog article somewhere, so then you share the blog article instead. So you cannot really send the assets through social post. What you do is you share the full social post like here. So I go back to the email. This is the email about the social post that Penelope has received. If I click on like share, this is what the person receives. So it's not really the assets, it's also not a PDF, it's just the social post as such. And they can use this to like it, to comment on it, to share it, or they can also create their own post. So in this case, it's a different use case than for blog articles. Okay. Let me know if it's not clear. We can also have a call and discuss it at any other moment. But I hope it was clear. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you, which is also really interesting, I think you will like it as well, is the social feed. So if we go back to the channels page, next to ambassadors and to press, there is also a channel which is included in the Content Hubs category, which is called social feed. So if I click on it, in my case for this workspace is already enabled, but I can also disable. You can also enable it on your own. If I click on view feed, a public page, completely free and available summary page is open with all the social posts that I have published through StoryShift since the beginning of you using StoryShift. So for example, the post that I just published 5 minutes ago is here. So you see here 5 minutes ago on the different channels. You can also like scroll with the arrows to see all the channels that it was where it was published. Here you see another one 1 hour ago. Here as well in the past. So you can really see per line all the posts on all the different channels. So you can share this URL. This is a public URL that everyone can use. They don't have to be users of the tool. It can be anyone, so you can just share the URL with anyone, colleagues, employees, but also external collaborators. And they will be able to see everything that you have published on social media in the last weeks or months. And they can also like it or comment or share it. So it's very similar to the email that the ambassador receives, but the email that the ambassador receives is basically for only one post, so this one in this case. But here they also find all other posts. So they can choose, for example, as an employee, they can come here and see, hey, okay, I want to share something, I want to do something for the company, let me choose the post that I want to share. For example, this one is our own StoryShift social feed, so the one that we use for the post that we post on social media. So here you have all the social posts that are online, that are live, and from time to time our marketing team sends us a message to say, hey, don't forget to go to the social feed, just choose a social post that you like, and then just give it a like or just reply, send a comment or share it. Just do something with it because it really helps. So that's something that they want to do from time to time. So an email is more proactive because you send them an email, so they have the email, they have actually the order to do something. This is more reactive because they need to remember to come to this page, or the marketing team can also remind them to do this. They can also save this as a bookmark, as a favorite, so it's easy to reach. But this is all our posts in the past. So whenever I'm clicking on anyone, for example, on Facebook, this one share, then I will go directed to Facebook where I can actually post I can share my post. So it's really useful. I know a lot of people are using it already. Some other uses as well is, for example, you can use it in an internal team meeting, in an internal marketing meeting. So if you want to show your colleagues or your manager what you have posted in the last previous days or weeks, you can also come to this page and say, look, this is all I've done on all these channels. So it's just one great overview to see all of them. So that's the last thing that I wanted to show you. I don't know if there are any other questions. Let me quickly check. There is another question. Could you show once again how you go to social feed, please? Yeah, of course. So I click on my name and I go to the channels page. So it's a channel for us. It's just an extra channel. So we go to channels, and then if you scroll down a bit, or you can also jump to the content hubs category, you find it in here. So you click on it, and then you will usually see enable first, and once you enable, then you can click on view feeds, and then you get to the page. So you can save it, you can post it on your intranet, on Slack, you can do whatever you want with it, because everyone with this URL can access it. It doesn't matter if they are users or not, or if they are colleagues or not, you can share it with anyone. Okay. Perfect. Let me see if there are any. I see another question here. Does StoryShift count an email address 2 times if the same email address is added to 2 different lists? So if I go back to the channels page and to the ambassadors here, I can have the same person, the same contact in this list and also in this one, for example. That's a possibility, and this person will only count as 1. So it's only unique email addresses that will be counted. So you can have the same person, the same email address across all your lists, and it will only count as 1 contact. So if you have a limit of 100 in your account, for example, it will only count as 1, even though the person is added to several groups. So I think that's also quite nice. And then another question, there is no way to connect the list of StoryShift to an existing list segment, for example, in MailChimp. Not for now. So the contact form that we have created, for example, in the case of the management team, if you remember in the beginning of the webinar, I went to the Signup Form, and then I created a form which is already enabled. So I can already use this form in my story, but I cannot connect that with another story. You can do that, and we have a few clients doing that with Zapier, for example. So with Zapier, there is one specific case where every time a contact is added to the CRM of our client, via Zapier, the contact is being added to a specific ambassadors list. So it's doable, it's not natively supported, but you can do it with Zapier depending probably on the CRM. But if it's, for example, MailChimp, it's supported, HubSpot is also supported. It depends on the program that you are using. But in this case, for example, I can show you also another day. I set it up for the customers, and every time a contact is added to their CRM and they have enabled the GDPR, then the contact is also added to a specific ambassadors list. So it is a possibility, it's not natively supported, but it's possible. If I show you how to embed the contact form, so I go back to edit, so I want to make changes to the story. I click on edit, let's say I want to go all the way down. I will unschedule it first so that I can edit, okay. So here I just open the media bar, and then I can use this lead capture form icon. So I click here, and then I can select the contact form that I want. In my case, it's this one. I think I created it 2 times. It's this one, management team. But you see there are many others. Wait, I don't think you can see it. But now you will. So now I have selected the ambassador list from the dropdown. And this is the contact form that we offer. It's really simple, it's really easy, you don't have to set it up, it's just standard. So it includes the first name, last name, and email address. So anyone can just fill it in, name, email address, and so. And then whenever someone is doing this person with these details will be added to this specific management team ambassador list. So you can use that for any other list that you want. It depends on the contact form that you want to embed, but you will find them here. So you see, for example, this one, This is, for example, to send the contact to team leader, for example, to create an opportunity, a deal in team leader, which is a CRM, Pipedrive as well. So there are many opportunities in there. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, perfect. Okay. I don't see any other questions, so I think we can leave it here for now. If you come up with new questions in the coming days, please reach out. You can use the chat. You can also use my email to send me an email. We also have, as you know, our academy here, where you find some really interesting courses. This is about story shifting in general, how the product works. This one about SEO is the one that we were discussing last time in my previous webinar. This one also for growth marketing fundamentals, that's great. So you can watch them as well. And also, as always, the referral program that we are really proud to show. So if you know someone that can benefit from StoryShift and they convert, they create an account with us, then you will get €100 or $100 voucher that you can spend in an online shop, for example, Amazon. And they will also receive a 10% discount on their first invoice. So it's also a win-win situation. So just use it if you know anyone around you that may be able to use it. That's it for today. So thanks for joining. I will be sending the recording probably tomorrow or the day after. If there are any questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out. And I really hope to see you again in my next webinar. Okay? Bye-bye.